good morning and welcome to the NHS Project Futures Compass 3 Day. It's fantastic to have you with us today. It's going to be a wonderful and exciting day. I'm Jo Stanford and I'm Head of the Corporate Portfolio Office at Health Education England and also Head of Project Profession. And in addition, I've been working with counterparts to develop the project and change profession in the NHS. If you haven't already introduced yourself in the chat and let people know who you are and where you're from, please do. This is a really interactive day. We want you to get to know each other, to talk, to share your thoughts and ideas. We've also put some polls in, so please can you respond to the first of the polls, and this is about understanding who we've got with us today so that we can make it the best experience we can for you. So just while you're doing that and completing that first poll, I'm just going to quickly talk about what the aim of the day is and what we're going to get out of it. So on the platform, in terms of the housekeeping, we have a question and answer section, we have the chat, we have the polls, we have the feedback form, and if you can complete that at the end of every session, that will be incredibly helpful for us to know what works, what doesn't, and what we can improve on for the next event that we hold. There's also notes, so if you've got a really interesting session and you've got some really good information coming through, you can take notes and download them and save them for yourself. We have also the game to play, so it's really important that you get involved and help to learn more about what's going on, have some fun, and there's some great prizes to win. More about that in a little while. So let's have a look at the first poll and see what that's telling us about who we've got with us today. So at the moment, we have about half of the first time here. So fantastic, welcome. It's fantastic to have you with us today. We've got some people who are second time round and, 20% or so that are regular crew members and party goers. So that's fantastic. And it may change a little bit as we go through the session, because if we've got this many new people, chances are some of them will still be working out how to get on the platform and into the session. So let's move on to the next poll and see what that tells us. So understanding now where people are from, and let's find out where you are. So we have who's in the north of England, who's in Middle England, put it Middle Earth, couldn't resist. South of England, we also have some colleagues from Scotland, hopefully. We've got a network that's just starting out in Scotland, so more about that as well in future. And we're hoping to set one up in terms of Wales and Northern Ireland, so we can get the Project and Change community in healthcare across the UK all joined up, sharing and collaborating. So if anybody is from Wales or Scotland, do put yourself down and we can hopefully connect with you and see if we can get a regional network going for you as well. Just looking to see whether we've got anybody from outside of the UK. So New World and north of the equator. So anybody in the Northern Hemisphere. And we've got somebody who's put down that somewhere where it's summer. So I'm guessing they're going to have to be in the Southern Hemisphere for that. Put your name in the chat, tell us where you are. That'll be fascinating to find out. So that's great. So we've got a real mix, most from England. We've got someone from Wales and Northern Ireland as well. Put your name in the chat. Let's catch up and see where you're from. And moving on to the next poll now. So next we have, what sector you do work in. This is the first time we've actually invited people from outside of the NHS to be part of it. Now, this is mainly an NHS Project and Change community, but in the public sector particularly, we all share the similar kinds of problems, but also if you think about the continuum, a lot of people have involvement in delivering health and social care. So actually getting people from government departments, from the social care side, from people like their professional bodies, to really help all bring together the skills and the knowledge to help to make the whole health and care system better is a real kind of aim for this community. So welcome to those that have come from other departments. It's fantastic that you've been able to join us today. We've got about 10% come from other government departments, and we've got some a couple of speakers on board, and interestingly, somebody who stumbled in on this and it seemed interesting. So if you put in the chat who you are and where you're from, that would be interesting to find out more. So that's great. 86% NHS, we've got a good 10% from other government departments. do contribute, share your knowledge, connect, and which is really important, because this is a real opportunity for people to get together and connect. So moving on to actually, what to get out of the day. So if you have a look at the platform, there's some real opportunities to make the most of the day. If you scroll down from where you're viewing at the moment, you'll see underneath that there are links to resources and information, documents, and also information about the speakers. So have a look at that, because there's a lot more that's available for people to connect with. We also have the networking function, which allows you to search for people that might be in similar roles or in organizations you want to connect with. Make the most of the opportunity to email, text, or video chat with people today, including the leads, champions, and ambassadors. You'll find them listed in the menu on the left-hand side. Visit the exhibition hall to find out more about professional bodies and organizations and apprenticeship providers and all the resources and information that they've shared. And also you'll find that there's game codes on each of those sites as well. So go and have a rummage around and see what's out there. You'll find resources links and emails to chat with representatives. And I know that ProSci is manning their stall today in the exhibition hall. So if you've got any questions for them, go and find out more and have a chat with them. There's a wealth of resources in the documents library from this and from previous events. So find the good stuff and use it. It's there for everybody to use. So get the value from it. We also have all the previous events that we've run on demand on the site. So if you scroll back through the agenda to previous sessions, you will see that there are video recordings for almost all of the sessions. You can always catch up on those on demand. And we have some amazing speakers today. So if you can't stay all day, do come back and watch those sessions another day, because they will be available on the platform for about the next few months. So you can always come back and catch up where you missed out. So moving on then to, for those that have attended before, you'll know that we've done a series of sessions on neuroscience. And one of the important things about maintaining emotional resilience is the balance of brain chemistry. And overloading it from unrelenting workloads and increased stress is not healthy for us in the long run. So one of the things that we aim to do in this community event is take time to change that, to rebuild our resilience. And for those of you that have been to our events in the past and have attended ones on neuroscience, Tibby Vera, who is a neuroscientist who's done some of our sessions, she talks about increasing dopamine and endorphins, the things that make you feel good and the things that make you feel happy. And it's really important to stop and have those moments, share those moments. So that's some of what we're going to be doing today. And she calls it hunting and laughing. So the hunting bit is the quiz and the challenges that we've set. So there's some great prizes on offer. Some of the presenters have given us some really valuable prizes. So there's books, there's resources, and also Robert Buttrick, who wrote the government standard, functional standard for project management. He has very kindly donated some of his published books as well. So there's going to be some great prizes for the quiz. It's in the game module. So if you go in after this session, have a look, put in your quiz codes from this session as well. There's just some fun to be had, some challenges to meet, and throughout the day, there'll be codes for you to pick up. At the end of the day, in session 7, we have some fun and we bring it all together. We'll do a bit of summary for the day. We'll also do the prize giving. There's a really good set of prizes for people who do the funniest tweet. We want a good laugh. There's been some absolute award winners in the past. The most motivational tweet, and if you can come up with something really interesting, post it on the share wall in that module as well. And also we then have, for those that are happy to stay on and just have some fun, we're going to run a pub quiz, and the TV theme for this one has a bit of a zombie theme to it, so stick around for that. And then finally, at the end of the day, we'll just have some fun, play some music, have a bit of a let your hair down, and just have fun and chat. So do stick around and make the most of the day and do the hunting and laughing. So how to get the game codes. At the start and end of every session, there will be a code, and that will get you points for A, turning up on time, and also staying to the end. So this is the last time you'll see the code mid-presentation. You have to turn up on time to see it, otherwise you'll miss out. Take the code word or number and add it to the game module, type in the code, and it will give you the points. And what do points make? Prizes. So start playing, get involved, tweet, use the share wall, send some funny things, make everybody laugh, and you'll be doing a good thing. Okay, so let's talk just very briefly about the news and the latest in terms of the development of the project profession. So we have been working on the development of the project profession, project and change community for, since we kind of relaunched the community site in 2019 at our first conference. And as part of that, we've been working on developing an academy model, and that's about having all the resources in place to support the project and change community with the things that will actually help it flourish and thrive in the NHS. The aim is to align it to the government project delivery profession and to provide the workforce with the same opportunities for professional development and meaningful careers that are provided to other non-clinical professions in the NHS, such as finance, HR, informatics. So, for example, finance has the Healthcare Finance and Management Association, and we're looking to develop the equivalent of that for the project and change profession to support the 10,000 plus people who work in project and change across the NHS. The community is a collaborative. All of the developments that have gone on have all been by volunteers. So myself, my team, everybody else that works on it, all the regional network leads, the specific interest groups. These are all people who are volunteering to do it in addition to their day job, which makes it a bit of a challenge sometimes. And we are looking for how we can make it more robust, more resilient, and more sustainable for the future. More about that in a little while. In terms of where we are in developing it, we've progressed quite a long way with a lot of the infrastructural stuff, and we're now at a point where we're both delivering and starting to on the implementation side of things. These things will cross over for a while, and there are still more products and elements that we want to develop. And so going forward, if we can continue the way we are, we can do it, but we can do it more at pace if we can get the resources to support it. And that's the key thing, I think, in terms of the change for the new structure for the organisation. As you'll have heard, that the project, the merger of organisations in the NHS. So there's an announcement, and it's in the description below. Health Education England, so my organisation, plus NHS Digital and NHSX will all be merging with NHS England and Improvement to create one very large organisation. The benefit of that is it allows us to bring together the resources we've got, the skills, the tools, and the community, and have one place to be able to work from, hopefully to be able to coordinate and bring the community together through that central medium. And in terms of the programme and how it's developed, we put forward the programme to the APM Awards, and we were lucky to be shortlisted as a finalist. We went along as a team, and there were representatives from specific interest groups and the regions and the sort of ALBs that have all been part of this. And it was a fantastic night, and it was really great to see some of the other people there. Unfortunately, we didn't win. We were really hoping to. But that doesn't take away from all of the hard work that all of you have done to help make the Project and Change community such a success that actually got us to the final. So congratulations to everybody. Well done. And let's keep going, and let's look for opportunities for how we can put this forward for future awards. So in terms of some of the winners that were there on the night, we've got the Social Project of the Year, and that was won by Department of Health and Social Care for their managed quarantine service, which was fantastic. They were so happy with that. That was a really great result. There was also a special recognition award for the NHS Charities Together project. And that was really for how quickly they came together to deal with what came out of Captain Tom's amazing fundraising efforts for the NHS. that started a whole wave of contributions that meant that a function had to be set up and managed really quickly to both deal with that, but also then to make the most of it to help the NHS to run more effectively by using that money for charities to support the development of services. And a really amazing situation. And also they presented to a standing ovation. It was just wonderful to see that result. And the winners of the contribution to project management was the Essex County Council. So that was congratulations to them, but also we talked to them about how we can work together and start to join that health and social care element, bring the things that they've developed, the things that we've developed, and look for opportunities to collaborate more effectively across that health and social care space. So really good and amazing achievements, and really sets the tone for how we take it forward. Because if we can start to promote some of the projects that you do and we do collectively as a community, we can get the recognition I think we deserve for some of the changes that we make, but also I think it would do us our credibility good in terms of raising awareness of the project and change community in the NHS. So have a think about what you can put forward for next year's awards. In terms of just the things that we're working on this year, these are the key areas, and there's an opportunity to get better collaboration and support through the merger of the various organisations, but also there's an opportunity for everybody to get involved with it as well. Unfortunately, we don't have time to go into all of the changes that are going on at the moment, but this is just a header, and we will provide more information in the newsletter that we send out, and the next edition will be going out in January. There'll be more news from the APM and the IPA, and also all the other developments through that. So moving forward to the focus of today, change management is the topic identified by the community as being an area of particular interest. And so we decided to devote a whole day to raising awareness, insights and knowledge about it. So I'm going to pass over to Jocelyn Shaw, who's change manager in the HE Corporate Portfolio Office, to give you more details about the day. Thank you.
Thanks, Jo, and a very good morning to you all. Well, what a lineup we've got for you today. Let me begin by saying just a few words about change. It's continuous, it will always happen, and we should always be prepared for it. Project management and change management are two distinct disciplines in their own right, but they are very closely related. We need just as much focus on the people involved and how they're impacted as we do on the outputs and the outcomes being produced. A fantastic quote that I love from ProSci that I'd like to share with you. Project management prepares the solution for the organisation. Change management prepares the organisation for the solution. It's important to continue to grow our change management capabilities, as this will ultimately aid the delivery of intended outcomes and benefits, which is the purpose of why we do what we do. Unfortunately, I don't have time to detail every single session that we've got on the agenda today, so I'll just be sharing a few key highlights which you won't want to miss. So giving you a great foundation to start the day is an introduction from the Change Management Institute. And a little spoiler for you, they have some fab videos which you'll want to use yourself. We take a look into the ever important lessons learned from those who have been there and done it. Experience is a wonderful thing. So a big thank you to Paul and Kate from ACAS for sharing how they went about developing and implementing a project and change management framework within their organisation. Over lunch, why not get involved with either of our two networking sessions where you can get stuck into the conversation about ensuring ICSs are PMO ready, or share your biggest challenges and solutions for adopting and embedding change management in your organisation. The afternoon boasts some fantastic speakers, one of which is Melanie Franklin, who has joined us previously. Melanie is the Director of Agile Change. You'll come away from that session confident in producing roadmaps and applying Agile Change Management. You're working on change in the NHS? Then why not take a look at the Change Management Toolkit, which has already been developed, and save yourself some valuable time. Join the Change Management Specific Interest Group to collaborate on future iterations and network with like-minded colleagues. A session not to be missed is at 3:30 this afternoon, and that's with our key speaker, Tim Creasy, who is the Chief Innovation Officer from ProSci. You'll be leaving that session with some valuable learnings and takeaways, which will remain with you and that you can start using straight away. After all that learning, sharing and networking, kick off your shoes, make yourself a drink and join us for some fun with a number of awards from the event activities, a quiz and a party that Joe's already alluded to. Bonuses, it's all in your own home. Okay, moving on. I'd like to tell you briefly about our online community of practice, which is the Healthcare Project Delivery Community. And this is on the Knowledge Hub platform. So it was established a couple of years ago. It's absolutely free for you to join. So please, we would encourage everybody to get in there. There are a number of different specific interest groups that we've got within there. One of which is the Change Management Specific Interest Group. So again, we've got over 900 members across the whole community. This is your opportunity to connect, build your own networks, establish new working relationships, establish new friends even. So across there, we can collaborate on things, you can learn from each other. We've got a fantastic array of resources available, such as corporate membership with the APM. So we've downloaded loads and loads of resources from the Association of Project Management in there. There's access to online best management practice guides, for example. So they're all accessible within there. And specifically on the Change Management Specific Interest Group, if we just pop to the next slide, please. We're building new members all the time. And we'd love you to get involved and be one of those. So within every group, you get access to a forum. So that's a place to have ongoing discussions, get your questions answered. You might be able to provide solutions for each other, basically learning and sharing. There's a library where you can access the resources and again, upload your own content to share. The events, we're drip feeding these in all the time, so ones that we're aware of. But please, if you know of any others, get them in there so that we can all attend and learn some new things. And even a wiki page. So again, if you want to collaborate on anything, you can create new documents and resources there. And ultimately, you can view the full list of members that are part of that group. So you can privately chat to them in the community or access their email address as well to contact them offline. Now, within the group itself, we've done a quick poll. This poll's been up for quite a while, and I think it's going to remain there because I think it's really important to kind of gauge what the members of that specific interest group want to get out of their membership. So I'd like to quickly ask people just to bob in the chat if you were wanting to join the group, or even if you're already a member of the group. What is it specifically that you want to get out of your membership? Is it just to generally learn more about change management? Do you want to extend your network and meet new people? Or is it just sharing your own knowledge about change and about change management? If there's anything missing from that list, please do add that in there. So I'll be going back through the chat after this session just to review any kind of comments that people have shared. But ultimately, yeah, as I said, the content will be tailored around what the members want. And that's the whole purpose of the community. As a facilitator of that group, we kind of just aid those discussions, but it's the members themselves who really get involved and kind of, get the most out of that and will flourish. So thank you very much for that. We'd love to know more. And I've got some contact details if you would like to know more. So you can contact us anytime. So there's the sign up link, which one of my colleagues will kindly put in the chat, I'm sure, and we can share that afterwards as well. And then we've got the generic email address for Project Futures if you have any specific queries. So I look forward to hearing from you, connecting with you, and working with you going forwards. So thank you for that. Okay. So the event itself is a brilliant opportunity to bring together and connect project and change professionals from across the NHS and wider. So it's at this point that I'd like to introduce Gareth, who's going to share some of the things we're currently doing to try and make this happen. So thank you and welcome, Gareth.
Thanks, Josh. Thanks, Joe, as well. And good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Compass 3 event. My name's Gareth Nichols. I'm head of PMO at University Hospitals of North Midlands, and I'm also the regional network lead for the Midlands. As Joe said at the beginning, the coverage, the networks are growing, and we are developing and growing at a rate. We've moved beyond just England now, so we are going for world domination. We've got a network launched in Scotland, which is fantastic, and it's great to see that we've got some people on board today from Wales and Northern Ireland, because that's the next step. We want to get those networks set up and start sharing, not just across England, but UK wide. Nationally, we've got over 900 members registered on the community, as Josh just said, and we've got 1,200 people that have been registered to our online events, the last 3 Compass events and the festival that we held earlier in the year. So the network is growing rapidly, and we need to make the most of that and develop that. Next slide, please, Joe. Okay, so in terms of the highlights of the networks, we're all moving at different paces, and as Joe said again, we're all volunteers, so this is all being done in our own time with the support of volunteers from across our networks. We've seen I'm not going to say that word. We've seen the first meetings held in Yorkshire and Humber, in the Midlands for myself, and in the Northeast as well. Regular meetings are now set up in the Southeast, Northwest, and London, which is fantastic. I think London's had over 6 sessions now, and Henry's on following me, so he'll tell you more about that. The membership of the groups is growing, as I just said at the beginning, and it's growing through the NHS and beyond, as Joe said as well at the beginning. We've got members on board from the CCGs, from acute and ambulance and community and mental health trusts. We've got members from ICSs, and also we're starting to engage with services beyond the NHS. I guess the most important thing is we're starting to see some real tangible benefits through sharing of best practice, through sharing of tools, resources. The networks are starting to recognise some real tangible benefits, and that momentum is something that we need to keep, and we need to put more focus and effort onto. Next slide, please, Joe. So some of those benefits that we've already captured and that we've had fed back to us are around the sharing of best practice, being able to link in with network members, not just within our own region, but nationally, and sharing developments that people have been working on, sharing resources. We're building repositories using the Knowledge Hub that Josh just mentioned to be able to put resources and documents and materials, training materials for people to freely access and use and pick up, and not have to recreate, and we can recycle and reuse what we've got. We're working to develop an ICS network group specifically focused on the introduction of the ICSs later next year, and that ties in very much to Josh's piece around change management. That's going to be a significant change for us all, and we want to be ahead of the game and offering our support and knowledge into the creation of PMOs within the ICSs. And we're also collaborating with NHS EI, and we've started to provide some support to challenge systems. We've been helping to create frameworks and toolkits to set up new PMOs, and we're starting to get feedback from members of the networks to say that they're actually starting to really recognise some potentially significant financial savings from this as well, which is fantastic to hear back. I guess my final point before Henry is going to expand on some of the benefits, some of the feedback. Just to touch on Joe's point, this has all been done by a small group of volunteers, and this has been done through COVID. We've been doing this remotely. We've been doing this as and when we can between our day jobs, and we're relying on the support of our network members to come in as those champions, those ambassadors, and to take on more and more. But I guess my last little comment there is around just imagine what's possible if we can get more formal structure around this and not have to rely on just volunteers. I'd love to catch up and talk to everybody throughout the day, so please contact me on the site, drop me a message. I can do video calls. It'd be great to connect with more people, and it'd be great to get more people into my network and the other networks, especially those first timers that are on board. So it's great to have you all here. So from me, that's it for now. I'm running the ICS or ICS PMO ready session at lunch. So please do join that as well. It'd be great to get some input from everybody on where they are currently in that journey. And I'll speak to you then. And I'll hand over to Henry. Thank you.
Gareth, thanks very much. Thanks, Joe and Joss, for the updates and setting the scene today. I'm Henry Wilson. I'm head of the transformation team at University College London Hospitals, and also the Project Futures network lead for the London region. I am also a fully fledged, self-confessed Project Futures geek. And so I am very, very excited about the future of everything you've talked about, from the plan to develop the Healthcare Project and Change Association, the spread and the growth of the networks, now starting to cover other parts of the UK, and also for today, for Compass 03, for the great sessions that we got to look forward to, examining in detail, as Josh said, that really, really important topic of change management. And it is so closely related to all of the work that we all do across projects and change. So reflecting on the things close to home, Gareth mentioned the interest that we've been getting in the London region network, which is fantastic. Since the last Compass event, it has allowed more of us to connect. I myself have had a number of conversations with organisations around London about our collective challenges, and that has been helpful and edifying and allowed us to share knowledge and information about all the things that we are grappling with today. Since the last event, I also mentioned that my own team, the Innovation and Transformation team, we've been using the tools provided by Project Futures. So we've been using the capability framework as part of our own team development. It has been a really, really interesting exercise, finding out how we can strengthen our delivery approach. And using the framework, we've now honed in on 3 areas: change control, benefits delivery, and operational readiness, areas where we want to do better. It's allowed us to enhance our own methodology. The outcome being, if we can deliver our projects more reliably, with less rework, more quickly, then the organisation is going to see benefits sooner, and we can deliver more at a time when transformation is sorely needed across the NHS and other organisations. But also, don't just take my word for it. As we start to communicate the benefits of Project Futures in the association, we asked people from across the country to tell us what it means for them, for their organisations. Thank you very much to those of you who provided this feedback, a selection of which is included on this slide. And just, mentioning a couple of things there, York and Scarborough Foundation Trust talked about how it's allowed them to integrate project professionals alongside colleagues in other professions such as finance, HR, and their specialties. Southeast Coast Ambulance Service talked about sharing best practice, tools, techniques, collaboration that has saved their organisation money, which is obviously, a critical thing as we'll see, a challenging financial time ahead. And Kent Community NHS Foundation Trust talked about the real life experiences understanding the challenges that we're all facing when carrying out projects across our organisations. If anyone else or any others of you would like to share a good news story, please let us know. There should hopefully be a link appearing in the chat. It opens a short form and you can go on and submit a brief story, the things that NHS Project Futures has been helping you with. It'll only take a few minutes and we'd be really, really grateful for your input. And it's important that we can demonstrate the benefits of Project Futures and the association. We've come a long way on that journey. It feels like we are at a really, really crucial juncture. So a bit like a startup that has got lots of potential, we've got a great product. We started demonstrating our worth, but, it's a bit like we need venture capital to move forwards rapidly. If we could get the next slide, please. And so we now need to accelerate where we're at. This is kind of like our Dragon's Den moment. We need to step up, stride into the den and give Deborah Meaden our best shot and tell everyone who, can support us with this journey. It's now time to make that next great leap forward and make what we're doing sustainable. The next slide talks about some of the activities that we've got underway to help with this. So first and foremost, we've fed the ideas that you've already provided us into the working group, looking at the future of the association, the future of Project Futures. We've been preparing materials to have discussions with senior leaders across the NHS. That senior interest and buy-in to what we're doing will be really, really important. As Gareth and Joe were reflecting, people have been doing this because they love it, but to make this sustainable, we do need resources. We need to set up an organisation that can take this forward on a permanent basis. And so we would like to secure seed funding, hopefully from current year budgets, to allow us to set up the structures that would take this forward. And Joe mentioned the integration of organisations into NHS England improvement could also be a potential opportunity to secure funding. So, as ever, we're mainly grateful for your interest, participation and support. Those really are the important things. But, just in case anyone was feeling flush or generous, or you've won the Euro Millions recently, if you're interested in finding out how you can support these next steps financially, do drop us a line. Jo will share the details of how you can get in touch when she wraps up in a moment. As someone once said, money can't buy you happiness, but it can buy you a lot of things that make you happy. And if we were all here in 1, 2, many years to come, I think a lot of us will be very happy with that. So thanks again for your support. Have a brilliant day. I'm going to hand back to Jo to wrap up. And thanks very much.
Thank you, Henry. That's fantastic. And thank you for sharing your enthusiasm with us. And it's really important that we make the most of the collective resource that we are as a community. And that might be in terms of, does your organisation have any excess funding that we could perhaps tap into? But also it's important to get ideas and thoughts and suggestions from people, and also your efforts as well. We have a small team of really dedicated people, and we've got some fantastic volunteers working with us today. And it's been growing, and we've had more people getting involved. And you'll find out from them that it's fun as well, and it's not too onerous. So my question to you is, if you can click on the QR code and complete the survey from the description link that's below the session. There's a link that will take you there. It's about getting involved. And in terms of the future and the world itself, we know that everybody's busy at the moment, but we still need to think about the future and what direction we're going in, and we need to work towards it. And whether that's the environment, society, health, it's very important to pause and think about the longer term and what are the things that we need to put in place to ensure that what we are doing and the future of the NHS is sustainable. So you can help us to do that. And partly that's why you're here today, because you're mindful of the fact that you need to stop and learn and think about the future and network and share and help to make yourself resilient and knowledgeable to deal with future challenges. So let's take that a bit further. This is a call to arms and primarily aimed at those in the NHS, but for those that from other organisations, government and the public sector and the wider public sector, that you may be able to help us with ideas, suggestions, contact with people who could advocate for the project and change profession in the NHS. If there's anything you can do, please click on that link or scan the code and then just give us your suggestions and ideas. And if there's something you can help to volunteer with, whether that's being you want to join a regional network, specific interest group, you can join the champions and ambassadors, and that's for everybody. So an ambassador is somebody who's not necessarily part of the profession, but is a real advocate, and that can be helping to share the message with people from their own profession or their own sector. So it's really good to get a broad range of people involved with that. You know, we've got volunteers for events, social media, the community of practice, and coordination. Those are really, really vital people to have on board. And if you can connect us with either sources of funding or sources of decision making that might help us move this forward and make it sustainable, that would be really fantastic. We already had a couple of people who'd found the link and had already put their suggestions in and volunteered to get involved in stuff. So thank you to Mina and Ms. Jyoti, who have already completed the survey. So please do. It would be great to get your input. Sorry, Julie. So if everybody else could get involved, just in whatever small way you can, or even just participating, it all helps in the long term to make this more resilient. We don't have time for questions for this particular session, but if you do have any questions, post them up, and what we will do is we will reply to them in the chat so everybody can read them. You can come back and read it later on. So then, just moving on, what next? So where do we want to go in the future? Well, already we're planning the next event because these things are really important for learning and sharing and knowledge. And so we've already got the next event planned for March. At the moment, we're tentatively putting down the 2nd to the 4th of March. So if you pencil those dates in, block them in your calendar now, we will send out confirmation dates very shortly for everybody who wants to come and join us. And like the first event we had, it'll be a full festival. So lots of great speakers, lots more opportunities to get involved, and some really great developmental sessions. And before that, we've got the rest of today. So thank you for joining us. We hope you have a fantastic day. Do get involved, do the quiz, contribute to the chat, post your suggestions, and get in touch with everybody and network. But coming up next, we have the Change Management Institute, Dev and Liam, who are going to, Ket and Liam, who are going to come and talk about the Change Management Institute and understanding change management. So thank you so much for joining us. We hope you enjoy the rest of the day. Have a fantastic day and hope to see you through to the end at the party at the end of it to celebrate. Thank you.